Right then, in this video, it's the €9 adventure in Germany. In this adventure, I went to Germany for an entire month. And the reason for this is because there was an offer I just couldn't refuse. Because in the summer of 2022, there was a ticket for just €9. You could travel on every single bus and train, apart from high-speed trains, in the entire country of Germany for an entire month, just for €9. That is epic. And effectively, public transport had gone free for the summer of 2022. That is completely awesome. And this is something that simply would never happen in the United Kingdom. Because the United Kingdom is too much of a shithole for a policy like this. But over in the real part of Europe, in the European Union, which is something that the United Kingdom is too crap to be part of, but in the EU, there's actually now a common trend of public transport becoming free. For example, many cities in Estonia now have free public transport. And the entire country of Luxembourg now permanently has all of the public transport free in the entire country. Plus, a couple of small cities in the EU have also now got free public transport. But for a country as big as Germany to effectively offer free public transport for 3 months, that is big. So then, let's start the adventure. And I've currently just landed in Bremen in Germany. Let's just take a look at a ticket machine. €9. Why can't England have tickets like that? And it's valid for an entire month. Just seeing his ticket machine and seeing the €9 ticket was very satisfying. I've now got, for a month, the freedom to go wherever I want in the entire country. So let's go. So then, I'm starting in Bremen, and I pretty much went to every single city in Germany. Now, I didn't actually explore Bremen because I've already fully explored it, and I've already fully explored the public transport system. So the first thing I did is I got on the tram and went along to Bremen Hauptbahnhof. And let's just take a look at the main station. That is something quite odd here. Something not right for Germany. Take a look at those cameras. All of these cameras are pointed, zoomed in at all of the entrances to the station. Checking up on who's entering. Face recognition. This is something you just do not normally see in Germany because Germany has very strict privacy laws and Germans really do not like cameras. Meaning that even in places where you'd normally expect to see cameras, often there's no cameras at all. So for a station to have face recognition like this in Germany, I would not have thought Germans would have allowed this. Very odd. So then, I now get on a train and let the adventure begin. So, I went to pretty much every city in Germany in a month. So to show you how much this is, I'm now going to give you a list of every single city I visited. I went to Bremen, Hanover, Hamburg, Brunswick, Wolfsburg, Maidenberg, Berlin, Potsdam, Brandenburg, Leipzig, Dresden, Schnitz, Kassel, Frankfurt, Dortmund, Bochum, Gelsenkirchen, Essen, Oberhausen, Mulheim, Duisburg, Düsseldorf, Wuppertal, Cologne, Bonn, Koblenz, Wolfsburg, Frankfurt, Mannheim, Heidelberg, Heilbronn, Stuttgart, Kolscher, Saarbrücken, Nuremberg, and Munich. This was some adventure. So then, I've done all of the videos of trains on the different public transport systems, all in their own separate videos. As for this video you're watching right now, is going to be an overall look at the adventure, plus taking a look at the various lifts I found on the adventure. So let's get started with the first lift, which is in a hotel. This hotel has some Cone M-Series TMS lifts, which had just been modernised into Cone KCE. These lifts are nice and speedy and very efficient, so let's take a look at them. I've not seen these buttons before. Those are weird looking. This is efficient as well. Stops really good. They're slowing down. Stopped. Take a look at his button. Are you serious? That's so tacky, I've done it. No TMS left. So I can't call TMS. Look how eager this button's on.
It's got a nice 2-to-1 wheel there. Got wheels on it, nice chassis. Yeah, the car top's like TMS. Just gave it a little mod. Up we go. Whee! That's efficient, that's a good lift. And I just bang my back into the 2-to-1. That's nice. It's got gentle stop, KCE. It's got low speed, fast speed, so press run down. And then I let go of down, it'll do gentle stop. Gentle stop, rather than harsh stop. Now I'm going to show harsh stops. Press run up, now I'm going to let go of run first, before up. Now do harsh stop. Oh yep, a lot more harsh.
So then, it's now night time. So, how do I sleep at night in Germany? Because there is a problem. While the trains might be effectively free, the hotels are not. In fact, the hotels have gone crazy expensive and most of them have doubled in price. Even hostels, even shared dorms in hostels were now very expensive, simply because everyone was taking advantage of the free transport and everyone was travelling. The problem is, I don't have much money, which is why I took this opportunity to go to Germany for an entire month to see the public transport system. But if I'd paid for hotels, this would have completely offset any savings I would have made by free transport, which meant I had no choice. I had to camp in the woods. Now, I have camped in the woods before, but to camp in the woods for an entire month is extreme, is effort, and that is dedication. A reason why I went to that dedication to camp in the woods for 30 nights. The reason why I went to that dedication is because how much I enjoy going on public transport. Public transport is my #1 biggest hobby. But there's another problem. In Germany, camping in the woods is illegal. Or at least having a tent is illegal. Because I have slept in the woods before with a tent. And I don't think most people would care about someone with a tent in the woods. It doesn't seem like that much of a major crime, but it is Germany, and there is a lot of angry Germans about. There's so much vigilantiness over here. As soon as people see you do one thing you're not allowed to, people are like, "What? You are not allowed to camp in the woods!" So I just couldn't risk it. I don't think there'd be much chance of anyone coming across my tent, because I was always going deep in the woods every night where I wanted to camp. But because I didn't want to risk getting in trouble with the law, I did not bring a tent. I'm camping in a hammock, and I haven't actually camped in a hammock before in the woods, and it took a lot of getting used to. Mr. Owl? Was it a bear? No, I think it's an owl. But he says, I can drink his piss. Oh, thank you, Owl. That's what I needed. I need some piss to drink. So then, now we go to the next lift, which is located in the Stuttgart area of Germany. And the lift is an epic Schindler Myconic with perfect intelligent levelling. This lift is completely awesome, got D-series buttons, and Schindler Myconics are the best. So let's surf it.
That's fast inspection.
So then, as this adventure involves a lot of going to train stations, let's now go and film a train station ThyssenKrupp lift. And of course, we've got to do JU mode.
Umsteigeebene.
Goes over. Slightly over and it comes back down again. Over and goes back down again. If it was Schindler, it would go instantly down rather than stopping and having to restart. What's going to happen now, I wonder? What happened there? It stopped. JU mode. Back up it goes.
So then, now we go along to the area of Essen, Mulheim, Gelsenkirchen, Dortmund, Duisburg and Düsseldorf. These areas are very interesting because each city has its own public transport system, but it all links into the neighbouring city's transport system. So collectively, all these cities' public transport systems all link together into this ginormous system. If you combine all these systems together as one system, it is big. Bigger than any other public transport system I've seen. And this is a very German thing, how all different tram systems of these cities interlink. It is very interesting to explore the trains here. Now, I've done a lot of videos for different public transports in Germany, and I've done these all as separate videos. I don't have time to go through them all here because there's so much of them, so much to talk about. So take a look in the description for links to all of the different public transport videos I did in Germany. As for this video, let's take a look at a funicular. This is somewhere around the Mulheim-Essen area.
Funicular. Now it should be sideways. Oh, this is grubby. You can really sell this.
Verteilerebene. Tür öffnet.
And now, as I'm currently near Dortmund, there's this one thing I've got to do, and that is to go to Dortmund University, which has an absolutely epic dangle train. Words cannot describe how awesome this dangle train is. It is my favourite form of public transport. It's automatic, it runs on a similar system to Siemens Valve, so it's very efficient. You're high up so you get a nice view, and it just looks futuristic. Now, I've done a separate video on this. You can click the link in the description if you want to see that. As for this video, let's take a ride on a lift at one of the dangle train stations. So then, since I'm at Dortmund University, you might be wondering, what lifts does Dortmund University have? Well, I didn't actually bother filming them because they were complete utter crap, which was a bit disappointing. So then, I now travel on a train just like a normal person and along to the next city, which is Munich. Munich has a very interesting public transport system. Let's take a look at a U-Bahn station, such as this station, which has got some very interesting LED lighting. The station is lit up blue, making it look very spooky. I don't know if they wanted it to be spooky, because this was the cemetery station. So was it because it was a cemetery station they wanted it to be blue and spooky, or was this just a coincidence?
Zweite Ebene Sperrengeschoss.
And now let's take a look at the S-Bahn. One interesting thing I noticed on the S-Bahn is this little tiny lift. This lift only goes up less than a metre, and it is a proper lift. This is a record, because this is the shortest proper lift I've ever come across. Now, I have seen some very short non-proper lifts, basically lifts which are just a platform lift with a cab put on it. I do not count those as lifts. So as for actual proper full lifts, the shortest one I've ever seen used to be the little tiny one at Canary Wharf. But this one in Munich beats it. It's even shorter. Now, this lift appears to be a direct drive lift, a bit like the Schindler direct drive. In other words, a climbing lift, but rather than using teeth and rack and pinion, it uses a rubber wheel to climb the shaft. This would have been such an interesting lift to see, except sadly it wasn't working. And now, it's now night time. And there is a big problem, because I had forgotten how badly forecasted the weather is. The weather changed last minute. I looked at the weather at midday and it was like, tonight there's just 5% rain, pretty much no rain at all. Then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon it started raining. I looked at the weather again and it said tonight there's 95% rain. It was tipping it down. And the thing is, a lot of people in Germany were also camping in woods, well, mainly in campsites rather than in the woods, but there's a lot of people camping because of the free travel. All of these people all dashed to book up all of the places in the hostels. All of the hostels in Munich became fully booked. There was not a single hostel I could stay in all of Munich. All of the cheapish hotels were also fully booked. There was only a couple of hotel rooms left in the entire city of Munich, and these were in the expensive hotels. And these were even more expensive than normal because they were in high demand. I could not afford these. There was nowhere for me to stay tonight, and it was raining. I could not sleep in the woods. I was stuck. What should I do? What I ended up doing was I tied up my hammock in the Hauptbahnhof. I slept alongside all of the homeless people in the train station. That was dodgy. I did not get a good night's sleep because the Hauptbahnhof is very noisy at night time. It did quieten down a bit at 3 AM. I was also very nervous being near the homeless people because I was a bit worried they'd steal my stuff. I was also worried I'd be moved on by the police, but because there were so many homeless people in the station, the police were not able to move everyone on. So I did get a few hours sleep in my hammock in the station, but I was woken up at 6 o'clock in the morning by the cleaners who wanted to clean the floor. That was not a good night's sleep. Anyway, the next day I now got on to the next lift. And now we go along to a ThyssenKrupp lift. This building has 2 lifts. It's also got 2 entrances, but the 2 lifts are next to each other but open up on different sides. One lift is for the offices side of the building and the other lift was for the gym side of the building. I'm currently in the gym side and there's a very unusual setup at the top of the lift shaft, so let's go in the lift and up to the top floor. Inside break.
Oh, there you go. Yay, my favourite.
So here I am on the top floor, and there is a door. This door looks like a swing door lift. Or is this the motor room? Well, let's open it up and find out. This door is a little space at the top of the lift shaft. This is the lift shaft for the offices lift. Because the gym is on the top floor, the gym lift goes one floor higher than the offices lift. So I'm at the top floor in the shaft on the offices lift, and I can look down the lift shaft from here. Up on this floor is the lift logic, lift motor and governor. This is so weird. I'm standing at the top of an MRL lift shaft in a bit of space that would be a motor room, except there's an MRL setup. That's odd.
I've never seen anything like this. You've got a safety contact on it, so it's not going to run with this door open. Pull down. Right. What the actual fuck? I'm so glad I came in there. I almost didn't come in there. Look. This is so fucking weird. Logic. Got enough stop on over there. Got motor there. Got cables there. This is so weird. What opens on the other side? Interesting. So fucking strange. Got motor there. Cable ends there. Governor there. There's kind of the other lift there. There's the other lift. That's the other one that's moving.
And now let's go and surf the lift.
There's a buffer on top of the lift. Oh, that way.
So then I now travel on a train along to the city of Ulm. Ulm is a very strange name for a city, and along to the Einstein Centre. As odd they've named the shopping centre after Einstein. This shopping centre has got some nice cone ecodisc glyphs. And now to the train station, which has a conveyor belt which you put your bag on to save you having to carry your bag up and down the stairs.
Actually, it does work, especially going upwards.
I now feel very jealous of my bag, because the bag's got to have a ride on a conveyor belt, but I haven't! So let's go and ride it!
That's it, can I sit on that? Yes, just about you can. It works a little bit, see.
And now I go along to Dresden. This is Dresden Hauptbahnhof and it looks like this. And in Dresden they've got a weird dangle funicular. This is one of the weirdest things I've seen, but sadly it was very slow. And now I go along to my next destination, which is Berlin. I just had to go back to Berlin because it's my favourite German city. And along I go to a Cone M series TMS lifts in a residential building.
What? This lift's being weird. Floor 6. This lift's being slightly weird. We kept opening and shutting its door and doing odd stuff on in there. It's a classic TMS. Oh, great living.
So then, whilst exploring Berlin, I came across what appeared to be Germany's top parkour spot. But apparently, it's actually disrespectful to do parkour here, despite the fact many people are still doing it. This is actually a Holocaust memorial. I just do not understand how this thing could be a memorial to the Holocaust, considering the Holocaust was one of the most disgusting things to ever happen in human history. Surely a memorial to it should be something serious, something that expresses the horror of what happened, and I cannot see a load of weird concrete blocks in a square, which resembles more of a children's playground, and many children were using this as a playground. How on earth is that a memorial to a genocide? Anyway, let's go and explore it. While walking through the passages, I suddenly realised you have to walk quite slowly, otherwise you're going to bang into people. Because it's quite enclosed and there's loads of crossways passages, if you're walking fast through this and someone else is walking fast perpendicular to you, you're likely to not see them and crash into them. This is a very strange structure. It's actually quite an interesting structure. So then, let's now take a look at the few remaining sections of the Berlin Wall. So then, now I go along to the weird fish tank aquarium hotel. This hotel has a massive fish tank in the middle of it. Very strange. Turns out this aquarium was actually sold off to Merlin, so you can't actually go in it unless you pay for one of the ridiculous Sea Life Centre tickets, which is expensive. Apparently there's actually a circle lift in the middle of this. A very odd thing to have in a hotel, though very impressive looking. So then, let's ride the regular lifts in this hotel, where you get a good view of the aquarium.
It's a weird shape. Fucking hell, that's a weird shape. Probably a weird aquarium thingy.
And now I go along to the famous Park Inn. This is a place that had the epic 5.5 metre a second Schindler Myconic lifts. These lifts were some of the best lifts I've ever seen. They worked absolutely perfectly. Full intelligent levelling and intelligent overrun. They were fast, with good acceleration and well built. Guess what's happened? They've now been replaced with Otis's. I don't know who in their right mind thought Otis would be a suitable lift for this job. The replacement was a downgrade. And looking back through my videos, I realised that I didn't actually film it. When I saw his lifts, I was so disgusted, I actually forgot to film them. I still cannot understand who would replace Schindler Myconic with shitty Otis. Anyway, let's just remind ourselves what the epic Schindler Myconics were like before they got replaced. And now let's take a look at the Berlin U-Bahn. The Berlin U-Bahn is one of the most interesting U-Bahns in Germany. It's got some quite interesting old trains in it. So then, now I go along to Saarbrücken. And let's go to a shopping centre which has some ThyssenKrupp lifts.
See where this goes? Oh, only up one floor, well. That's just a good lift for just one floor, to be honest. The levelling could be a little bit better. Shine. We've got one here. This one goes upwards, unlike the other one that goes downwards. Ding, ding, ding. O2 contains parcels. A lift here in the middle of the street, it goes somewhere. Laid zone for Aufzug. Where's this go? Goes this down to a basement. So this lift just goes between Eckgeschoss, which is ground floor, and KG basement. Probably to some service area, so I think this lift's meant to be locked and I forgot to lock it. Okay, that says basement, but that says lower ground floor. Got a floor numbering wrong.
And now, here is a video of me getting angry with a reverse vending machine.
Right, let's play a game of will the machine actually accept my bottles today? These annoying things. Why did they get so far back with that one? Okay, that one's accepted. Will this one be accepted? It's a bit crumpled, let's see. They're going to reject. No, it accepted it. What about this one? Very crumpled, got a bit of liquid in it. It's probably going to be overweight because it's still got some liquid in. Let's see. No, that was not accepted. So what I need to do now, firstly get rid of the liquid. Where's over there? Put liquid in. No, you're not meant to put liquid in it. I don't know either. They've been blowing it to make the bottle big. Hopefully that will now make it accepted. So let's try now. It didn't accept it. It says there's no glass bottles. It's clearly not glass. Okay, let's try and blow in it again, make it a bit better. Okay, it's just giving me a ticket because this has been too long. Okay, that's 50p. Let's see if I can get this one accepted. No glass bottle. It's not a fucking glass bottle. Cool, let's try again. Oh my, I don't have wasted 20p because the stupid machine doesn't accept my bottle. 25p. Oh, this one's got water in as well. I'm not going to accept that because that'll be overweight as well. Oh, it accepted it. Okay, it's just not accepting this one. Let's try and work out why this one's not being accepted. Is it because the sticker oh, that's why the sticker it reads is not, it's crumpled. That might be why. Also, because it can, oh, it's printing me another one because it's being too slow. Don't you love this system in Germany? Apparently all the Germans actually love this. I don't. I find it fucking annoying. Last chance, but let's accept it. Oh my, if this doesn't accept it, I'm literally wasted 25p, which... Why is it not accepting it? Fucking stupid system I have here. Yes, finally, accept it. No. Some glass bottles here. What am I meant to do with this? I don't know, let's try it, see if I get some money for it. No glass bottles. What is it? Does it go on this one? What is it meant to do? Didn't accept it. Oh, that's probably why someone left it there, because it wouldn't accept it. Oh well. But if you're in Germany and you're homeless and you need to make some money, to collect up the litter. Amount of homeless people collecting litter. This system is homeless people go round raiding bins looking for plastic bottles, and quite a few people, often the rich Germans, don't even return the bottles, so the homeless people take the bottles. That's how the homeless people make money. But what's annoying is when I had my plastic bottles on this bag I was taking around with me, I found that homeless people keep trying to steal the bottles out of my bag, got into a couple of arguments. So they'd be like, oh, I'm taking your litter off you. Well, no, you're not taking your litter off me, because litter's actually worth money here. Well, ridiculous system. Look after your rubbish, make sure it's all nice and not crumpled to make sure the fucking machine accepts it. And if you're only going to Germany a couple of times, make sure you deposit back all of your stuff before you go. Meaning, if you take a bottle of water with you when you go across the border to another country, say you're first thing you take a bottle of water with you, then you've just wasted your deposit because you can't get it back in another country.
And now, when I went to Germany on this massive adventure, my top priority was to see Germany's best public transport systems. I went to explore every single little bit of Germany's railways and local city public transport. So what I'm now going to do is give you a brief summary of my favourite bits of the trains and trams in Germany. One of my favourite systems is the Cologne Metro Tram because it uses the exact same trams as the Croydon Tram with Keeper Electric VF drive. It's like going on a Croydon tram but running through tram tunnels to underground stations. It is awesome. Also, talking about Keeper Electric, in Saarbrücken the trams have Keeper Electric VF drive, but these are actually tram trains which run along the main line at higher speeds. And talking of tram trains, there's also some other very interesting tram train systems, such as the Kassel tram train and the very similar Chemnitz tram train. These systems run tram trains that have diesel sections, city electric systems at lower voltage, and mainline full voltage electric systems. So it's a very integrated system running across several different modes of transport, from little countryside branch lines to city centre tramways to mainline tracks, all within the same routes. Very integrated and interesting. Also, there's the Karlsruhe tram train system, the biggest tram train system in the world. It is very extensive. All of the local railways that would normally be run by local suburban trains are run by trams running along a main line. It is epic. Also, there's a couple of little countryside trams. You have trams rather than running through a city centre, run through the forests in the German countryside. Also in Germany, there's a lot of Stadtbahn systems, which are like a U-Bahn system, but I can also run as a tram on certain sections. And as well as that, there's also dedicated U-Bahn systems, such as the systems in Munich, Hamburg and Nuremberg. So then, on this big adventure in Germany, I didn't just visit Germany, I also went to some of the towns in the neighbouring countries. So now let's go along to Luxembourg. So I get on this German train and I go along to the village of Pearl. Now, Pearl is located at the tri-point of Germany, Luxembourg and France. Now, I find tri-points where the borders of different countries meet very interesting. Over on the Luxembourg side of the tri-point, the village is known as Schengen. This is where the European Union's Treaty of Free Movement and Open Borders was signed, one of the biggest and most significant treaties of the European Union. And the village of Schengen seemed like a very interesting place to visit, but sadly it was raining. It was tipping it down when I visited here, so it seems like I'll have to return here on another day to visit the tri-point. Now, the village of Schengen is very significant to the European Union. It symbolises countries working together, not only in free movement and open borders, but has a far wider meaning in this. It is where different countries across Europe have all come together to work for a common cause. Countries working together, something that the United Kingdom could never do. And when I visited Schengen, it actually made me feel quite sad. It was just such a shame to think the country I come from, the United Kingdom, could not be a part of such an awesome treaty. Because the United Kingdom just cannot work together, integrating and being part of something bigger. It's just not capable, because the United Kingdom is too much of a racist shithole. There's too many closet racists that live here, all xenophobic, and I'm absolutely sick of it. Seeing how well the European Union works and how countries can work together, and seeing how my country can't, it disgusts me. I don't understand how people can say they're proud of their country when they live in the UK, because the United Kingdom is not a country to be proud of. It is crap, and it is getting more crap. And in my month visiting Germany, it just showed me how much better the EU is than the UK. Anyway, let's continue my adventure, and along I go to the centre of Luxembourg. Now, in Luxembourg, just like Germany, all public transport is now free. But unlike Germany, where transport was only free for 3 months, in Luxembourg, transport is permanently free, and this includes every single form of public transport. So whilst exploring Luxembourg, I'm now going to show you a few of the buildings which I visited. Let's first go along to Bibliothèque Nationale, or in other words, the National Library. This building is very interesting looking, and all of the lifts in this building are all Schindler 5500s, but they've all got generic interiors. If you just looked at these lifts, you'd think, oh, that's a crap generic, when it's actually a 5500 in disguise, and it's fully featured with intelligent levelling, intelligent overrun, and pre-start. So let's ride it.
Schindler, so 3 shitty buttons.
And now to the next Schindler 5500.
Hier geht's los. Dritter Stock. Hier geht auf.
And now let's go along to a shopping centre in Luxembourg. All of the lifts in this shopping centre are all Schindler 5500s, and all of the lifts here are glass.
Fermeture, porte. Étage 1. Ouverture, porte.
And now to the next Schindler 5500s.
Fermeture, porte arrière. Étage 1. Ouverture, porte.
And now I go along to the airport. And the main lift in the centre of the airport is a nice big Schindler lift with 3,500 kilogram capacity. This is a fully featured Schindler Myconic. Let's ride it.
Étage 1.
And now let's take a look at the car park lifts, which are some really nice Schindler 5400s.
His bag is triangle shaped, but far too big to open up a lift shaft. Should be holding a crucifix.
And that completes my big adventure across Germany and neighbouring countries. So then, I'm now going to show you my camping setup in the woods. I filmed this on the second day where I camped in the woods in Germany. And over the month I stayed in the woods, I actually slowly improved on my technique. So the video clips you're about to see is when I wasn't that used to camping in a hammock. After I filmed this video, I actually improved my setup. I actually brought an underquilt because I was previously using a sleeping bag as an underquilt, which didn't work out well, so I had to improve the setup. But in these video clips, it shows you quite well how camping in the woods works. Let's take a look.
So then, we're going on a tree hunt. We need to find 2 trees the right distance apart. Well, there's plenty of trees, but where's trees in the right distance apart without plants in between them? Oh, there's a couple of trees up here without plants. It's too nice, slightly too close. Oh, there. Yeah, there. Tree to tree. That's about right. So, got a hammock. So let's show how we set up all of these things. But before we do the hammock, we first need to set up the hammock straps. Got warmer trousers to stay warm at night. Camera there, in case I ever go chain surfing. No, absolutely not. I'd never do such a thing. Now we've got the hammock straps. So tie it around, you do this above head height, so you have the most leeway possible. You want it high, so my head comes about here, doing it above head height. You're doing one this side and one the other side at the other tree. That one could go over a bit higher. Now the issue here is that most people try and stretch it out too much. Most people try and stretch out as far as they can and have the hammock really stretched. When you do that, you can't move about in a hammock much, meaning you can't get comfy. You want the hammock loose. If the hammock's loose, you don't get pressure points. When you lie in the hammock then conforms to where you're lying and it becomes really comfy quite quickly, and you've got a lot of leeway to move about to get comfy. So you want it to hang down to like that sort of angle. People think you want it tight like that so you're nice and flat, but even though you think you'll be nice and flat like that, it makes no difference. You'll just be more restricted like that. So have it down like that, you'll be just as flat despite the fact it's down, but you'll have more movement to move about. So open up the hammock, and this bag here forms part of the hammock, so when the hammock's out this becomes like a little bag to put your phone in. So you've got a carabiner. This carabiner on the hammock, then clip it to wherever you want to clip it to. I've got it 4 times around that tree, and it comes down to there to the first hole, but then I can adjust it to which hole depending on how well it sits. This side I've got it twice around this tree because this tree's thicker, but it should be at the same height, so that needs to be slightly higher I reckon. But then looking at the first hole, it's about the same height, so now we can clip up the hammock. So carabiner, do it for now into the highest hole on this bit, but then I'll readjust accordingly. Now this is to show how difficult it is to judge hammocks. It looks easy, but it's really difficult. Now I've actually done this wrong, but I'm going to show it, just demonstrate what's wrong so you can see how it's easy to get it wrong and how to fix it. So I've done it on that notch there, the hammock goes across, but the hammock is exactly what I said not to do at the very start. It's too tight. So this hammock here, it looks like it's hanging well, but it's too tight. If you look at the angle from that, how much angle is going down, but it's not enough angle. It's like too straight. It looks too flat. Like you might think, oh, it looks flat, it's comfy flat. When you get in it, it will be very restrictive. I've adjusted it, and that's how I like it to be. It looks very saggy, but that is actually more comfy. Even though it doesn't look comfy, it looks like you'll sag in the middle, but you won't. You will go flat in it. That's just right. But I've got a next problem. It's going to touch the ground now. So what I need to do now is to raise these, because if I raise it on here, the hammock will come tight and less comfy to sleep in. It needs to be nice and saggy. So the only way to solve that is to raise this up. So this side, I've raised that as high as that can go, as high as I can reach. I've raised that to there, goes down on the very last notch there, goes across. That hammock is now, that feels about right. Like, only because I've done it a few times. The first 2 nights I had no idea and was getting it wrong. I was waking up all night to have to readjust it. It's got just that amount of sag in it, so it comes down and back up, so very saggy. Then when you lie in it, it will go like that and become flat. Yeah, these bags are crazy heavy when all the stuff's in it. It's absolutely awful lugging about these bags all the time, but hey, doing it on the cheap, that's what I've got to do. So now, next thing is demonstrating how to use the sleeping bag as an underquilt. This is not ideal. This is the part that's the biggest faff. If you were to lie on it, it compresses it, and when the sleeping bag's compressed, it stops working. The insulation stops working, so you can't compress the sleeping bag, you can't lie on it, and that's the issue. So I can't simply put something inside. I tried this in my house, so I went here, and every time, no matter what I wore or what I slept in, I always get cold. The only way to do it is have something not compressed. So to have something not compressed, it has to go under. It has to sit underneath in a relaxed way, so the item that insulates you is not being compressed. So I've tied this up in a way to try and make it into an underquilt. I've got this bit here is where the hammock goes through one end, and this bit here is where it goes through the other end. So now I need to unclip my hammock and clip this in at either end. This part's a bit fiddly, so I can't actually do this holding a camera. So I've tied it about there. Yeah, this is not ideal. Get an underquilt, because that would be correct, but this is how I've makeshift underquilt using a sleeping bag. I've tied it up to there.
So here is what my hammock looks like with the sleeping bag around the outside of the hammock acting as an underquilt. You can see this is not an ideal solution. I actually got an underquilt after this night because it didn't work out well using a sleeping bag. So how the underquilt works is it goes around the outside of the hammock for insulation, so the insulation doesn't get compressed when you lie in the hammock, and that's how the insulation works. That's how it keeps the heat in.
So we're now going to sit into the hammock. So spread out a hammock, and you want to sit evenly in the middle. You don't want to put pressure on this net, because I'm sure that net's not that strong. You don't want to put pressure on either end of it, because the zips aren't going to be that strong. But then as you sit down, you want to check out this hammock's going taut before the sleeping bag is. So I'm inside the hammock now. What I do is make sure the sleeping bag being used as the underquilt is correct. It comes up there on that side. On the other side it comes up to there, and that sort of works. I've got the tensioning right.
So, finally, lying in the hammock. When you initially lie in the hammock, you will not be flat, because I deliberately set up the hammock to have sag in it. Then, when you rotate yourself diagonal into the hammock, when you go diagonally, you then become flat. And it's better and more comfortable that way than to make a hammock flat by stretching it out. Because if you stretch it out to be flat, you find you just can't move in the hammock, and that is a lot less comfy. Then, if you take a look at how the underquilt, or in this case how I'm using a sleeping bag as an underquilt, you want it to go all the way around you on the outside of the hammock, but you want it to not be compressed. So you don't want it to be tight against you so the sleeping bag compresses, because then it loses its insulating property. The sleeping bag needs to be slightly loose, so all of the insulating material is all expanded correctly. So it actually did take me a week to get used to sleeping in a hammock. I found I just couldn't sleep on my side in a hammock, no matter how hard I tried. It's become uncomfy. So I had to learn how to sleep on my back, and I also had to learn how to sink into the hammock and not resist the hammock's movements. You just have to just lie there and get used to how the hammock feels. Initially I found it hard to sleep, but after I got more experience at it, I actually found I could sleep quite well. So let's take a look at it in the daytime, and you can see here using a sleeping bag as the underquilt, this didn't work out well. So after this, I actually went and brought an actual underquilt, and after that I could actually use the sleeping bag actually as a sleeping bag inside the hammock to stay warm. And overall, once I got used to it, it actually worked very well sleeping in the hammock. And I'm actually going to do this every single summertime, because it allows me to go places for cheap, especially during the summer when all of the prices of hotels skyrocket.
So then that's pretty much the end of the video. This is what a wood looks like in daytime, very different to at night. This is why you should set up the hammock before it gets dark, so you can actually see what you're doing. I've got this very heavy bag, which pretty much limits what I can do on this trip, although this trip is just a trip to go and see the railways of Germany while we've got the cheap tickets, make use of that opportunity. So it's not too bad having a heavy bag, but if I was wanting to do my usual stuff like all the URBEX and lifts and stuff, I wouldn't want to be lugging around this heavy bag because it's absolutely exhausting. I'm back on the train, got another full day of exploring Germany's railways now. It's amazing that Germany's pretty much effectively made their railways entirely free for 3 months. That is just amazing, and that's an opportunity not to be missed.